check, check, check. Hello. Hopefully I'm choosing a sane level for the music. I don't know. If you can't hear my voice, tell me, and I'll change it. Oh no. I didn't go through my stream. I didn't go through my stream checklist. Where's my script? Lord. Welcome to the Plain Jane Gamedev stream. Gamedev time. The show where we code a game in a new programming language and talk about it. Last time we programmed some animations for our little character, and since the last stream I've added some more animations. Like I've added this little spin jump thing that she can do. And mostly I haven't worked on the game much. I've mostly just been doing language stuff. But yeah, so this is where we left it more or less last time, except for some animations that have been added. And the plan today is to, I feel like the music's probably too loud, but last time I turned it down more and I wasn't like, it was inaudible completely, so I don't know. But so what the plan was today is we were gonna load a level from LDtk because like 3 weeks ago I did some tiles. I did some little sketchy, these are horrible, but I was just like, we were playing Super Mario World and I went and made some little like tiles, right? And so then I went in LDtk and made a mock-up with those tiles. And you might notice there's a problem, which is that it's all messed up. So LDtk lets you use a sprite files directly, much like this game is set up to do. And so I was like, okay, perfect. This is just a simple file. I'll use it in LDtk. And it was totally fine. Up until it wasn't, I guess. So I think what happened is right before the stream, I had to reboot my machine because occasionally it gets into some state where plugging in my microphone just doesn't connect it. And I have to reboot and that fixes it. There's probably some stupid thing I could do to fix it, but I don't know. I have no idea. So I reboot my machine, I reopen everything, and when I reopen LDtk, this is what I get. So if I go to the tile sets, it's like, it doesn't say it's missing, right? It does not say it's missing, and if I come in here, it's right there. I probably just spoiled things, but if I open the thing, it's like right there, and selecting it does not make a difference. It just isn't loaded correctly. I don't know if LDtk has some like, do they have a thing with like warnings or like problems? I could open the, looks like I could open the Electron dev tools. I don't know what would be in there. But yeah, I just, that's really annoying. So what I'm gonna attempt to do is, I guess, I'm gonna try saving this out as a plain PNG and swapping the tile set to use the PNG. And if that works, great. If it doesn't work, then I guess we're not going to be editing this today, but I could maybe load data out of it, but it would be better to load data out of something that I could show you what it is. So we'll see. But yeah, we do have some other stuff that we can work on today, like where's my Sublime text? Not that window, you jerk. Come on. Oh Lord. No. We've got other stuff we could do. We could do code tidy. We could go program something else. But the whole stream was planned to be about loading levels. I'm used to tiled, but LDtk just does a simple thing where it's like one big JSON file. So I was like, that seems trivial to deal with, and it was, or so I thought. So I'm gonna put up. I need to make like a cute little like technical difficulties screen. I'm doing this because I don't want to show my whole file system here, but I'm gonna try exporting this as a PNG real quick, and then going in the tile set and changing it to the PNG. And if that works, great. Okay, thank God. Fabulous. Alright. So here's my crappy tile set in LDtk, and here's just like a goofy little level with like some layers in it, right? And yeah, and then I've got one int grid layer for what are going to be solids. Currently, we don't have any, like, we just load, if you guys recall from before, there's just like a goofy PNG that we're loading for the level, which is just like this thing. There's just like this PNG, and that's the level in the game, is this PNG, as you can see. And so I can just like go in here and draw arbitrary things, and there they are. We want to have the same setup, but for LDtk basically, is what the deal is here. And then later what we would like to do is just track the mod time on the LDtk file and be able to like reload, because when we do this we're resetting the whole game, quote unquote. What we would like to do later is we would like to reload the level without restarting the game, just keep everything where it is and reload the level, and then if the player's like clipped into something, we'll want some debug key where we can like press a key to just like warp her somewhere. That's something we could actually do. That is some, I'm gonna write that down. Make a debug key to teleport the player. Also, nobody's complained about the light theme so far, but if anybody hates it, let me know and we could try to pick a dark one for future streams. I know some people are really just like blinded by it. So anyway, I'm going to take out this stupid smiley face. And let's see. So here's the LDtk file, which if you've never worked with LDtk, as you can see, it's just a crap load of JSON. And the format is kind of weird. There's a JSON schema for it, but it is a weird format. Maybe I'm using it wrong, but it's kind of a strange format where it's like the naming conventions on the fields are confusing to me, and I'm not sure if it's like, okay, well, we've come out with a new version where we think this is better now, but the old ones aren't changed because they need to be compatible or something. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, I also forgot to mention, I have a game that came out today on Steam called Linevictus. It was a Love Jam game in, what was it, like March? And then I made a more finished version of it, but so I'm a little bit distracted because I have stats open. I have stats open in another window and I keep looking at them obsessively. But yeah, so here's our crummy LDtk project, and then basically what we've got is just I wrote like a wrapper around it as part of the standard library, and then I'm just writing another wrapper around that wrapper to just like have some conveniences here. And just like load those in the project, and then I don't know where we actually call this. I was doing this pre-stream today, so it's also we've moved to Sublime Text because I really used to prefer Sublime Text, and that's all well and good, but my muscle memory is all for VS Code, so I'm learning and changing my keybinds every 20 minutes. So I have a surprise, which is in the draw frame function. You might notice this big commented out thing, which is I actually already have some crappy drawing for this. And are we not live coding right now? Oh, we are. Okay. So here is my crappy level as such. And So the goal here is to, one, make it not suck. So like you see how there's seams on the tiles. Every prior project I've ever done basically has been software rendered. And if it hasn't been software rendered, it's rendered to a canvas. And so when you do that, things are on pixel coordinates and you don't get these jaggies, even if the window is a weird size. I haven't decided if I want to do that for this game yet. I kind of like characters and stuff being able to lerp around smoothly, and I kind of like the camera being able to be on a sub-pixel, because there's like annoying behavior that the camera does in a lot of pixel games that I wanted to avoid. So I'm not sure what I want to do about the tile jaggies yet, the borders, where there's like, you can see there's kind of like, people always say it's rounding errors from the floating point, where like you've got these little seams where it's like I am placing them in theory at the right place, but that's not what we really get in practice. It could be that they're not being loaded as pixel art, but I think they are. The like SDL flag for it. But anyways, so one way to fix that would be, well, we could render each tile layer to a render target. That is the resolution of the game, or like one tile larger on each axis, so that the camera could like do a snazzy like trick with that. Like we could render one extra tile. I've seen people render one extra pixel on each axis, so that you can like have a sub-pixel scroll, but then still draw your tiles on like a 1 pixel seam perfectly. I'm not sure if I want to do it that way or if I'll do something different yet. So that'll probably be for another day, but I don't know. Other stuff is like, you can see it's just being drawn as like a flat image here. We'd want to draw the layers. Some of them go before the player and some of them go after the player for the depth. We could also maybe think about doing parallax or something. I don't know. Another thing we really need to do, which is not very interesting for stream, is just like code tidying. So like there's a lot of casts between numeric types, and I recently made some sugars for that, so that like you can do this and not have to, because in some like math code this gets very tiresome. You're just doing lots and lots of casts. I'm trying to think of a good example. Actually, probably the debug system would be a good example of that. Let's see. Yeah, we have to cast here, and like the eye doesn't, like the eye doesn't widen from an unsigned to like a float, except now it should. I want to say it should. Yes. Let's make double sure. Yeah, it is. Okay. Sweet. And so this can go away too. I don't know, at first I was like, everything must be explicit all the time, but then the more I think about it, I'm like, well, I'm used to C, and so I write very C-style code, and then I get into trouble. Let's see, can I just like, new? That's better, okay. And like, this is a good example. There's so much casting going on in here that is like completely unnecessary. It's like not really adding any information. Why is that one? Is it because of the width that it is? Yep. Yeah. Oh gosh, this is a different. It's different from VS Code. Okay. So that's that. And it's still kind of verbose, but it's less, you know. Anyways, let's see. But yeah, there's stuff like that all over this code base, even though it's currently tiny, and we could clean up some of it in places. Which we could just do this. We could just go look for every cast real quick and have a look around. It's like these are kind of painful, for example. It's like you need that cast. You kind of need this cast. You could do this instead though, and it would be a lot less. So you could do this, and then you could do this, And then what you would do is you would cast these at the end. Much easier to read. Let's see. Alright, what else we got? This is a particularly heinous example. Yeah, that's pretty rough. We don't need to do that. Let's see. Well, I just collapsed all my cursors. Keyboard shortcuts are slightly different in, what? Oh, come on. Right, because it's still technically narrowing. Well, we can at least make it slightly less painless. This is something I stole from Nim. I really like being able to do cast this way in Nim, and it's not for everything in Jane, it's just for numeric types. You can cast them with a dot and the type that you want to cast it to. Because it expresses your intent really clearly without giving like a bunch of nonsense. Like, you don't have to have a bunch of extra parens or curlies, you don't have to have a function call or anything like that. So I really prefer it. Well, that seems fine. Well, that one we probably have to keep. I don't know. This isn't particularly fascinating, huh? I'm used to doing Alt-Shift and dragging to select columns in VS Code. I've got to figure out what that is in Sublime Text. What is the Sublime Text equivalent to Alt-Shift dragging to select, columns in VS Code? Is there an equivalent? Earlier I was trying to like align multi-cursors. I had like done something like selected a bunch of things like this, and I was trying to align my cursors in Sublime Text and could not figure out how to do it. And we're getting warnings on every compile here because there's an entity in here that we're not actually using. I was earlier just testing loading a field value, which I guess I can go ahead and show. So this won't actually make any difference. So if I go to LDtk, if I go to my entities layer, I have one entity called test_rect, and I'll just drag one of these in. There he is, joyous. And there's a boolean on there called isCool. So if I save this and then I come over to the game and I reload, we'll see isCool 0. If I come in here and check it, reload again, isCool 1. Nothing crazy. Kind of a waste of time, really. Can I like delete things, please? Oh, it's the delete key, because every keyboard has one of those. Anyway, so this isn't doing anything important. I was just messing about in case we wanted to make an entity. Let's see. I don't know. This past week has been totally nuts. And the week before that, and the week before that, and the week before that. So let's see about maybe trying to lock the camera to the level. That would be a start, and then we can see about drawing the background in the background and the foreground in the foreground. And then we can see about loading these red solids into an actual collision map and using them. And then we'll have to say goodbye to our little PNG level. Let's see. Alright. Ba-dum. Let's see. Okay. So what are we doing? Do. Sorry for getting quiet. I keep drinking water because it's like 1,000,000 degrees. I'm not sure. In the meantime, we could fix those seams just by drawing the whole thing to a canvas, but it does take away our subpixel positioning of things, and it also means that the game will be like, I usually make pixel perfect games. I kind of don't want to make this game pixel perfect. Like, I kind of want to give you subpixels just because there's a lot of nice animation stuff that looks better when you have subpixels. And I'm like, if Yacht Club are comfortable doing subpixels in Mina, and they are, then maybe I should just let myself have the subpixels. You know what I mean? I don't know. Alright. It's so hot in here, oh my goodness. Okay, so we've got this goofy situation. Let's do let's do, we'll make a new system maybe, and we'll call it like draw background or something, and we'll have another one in there that's like draw foreground. Sure. And then in one of these, this won't work without a, excuse me, this won't work without a restart, but I'll put it in anyway. And really, we don't even need that. C rules, anything that we import is, its imports are also imported. And then we would have something in here that's like, what is it called? Okay, so we've just got like draw. And then we'll take a runtime pointer. And then to do, draw the background layers. Now we could later have something where like in the systems there could be like a draw background and draw foreground in here, because then we could have systems where it's like, oh hey, we want to draw shadows on all these sprites or something. But for now we'll just put this in draw and then put the system order such that it, yeah. So we would have like, I don't know, which actually, okay, so currently we don't actually have any systems doing drawing, and I think the player and map are both just like, yeah, the player and the map are just in here. So tell you what, we'll go ahead and we'll put draw foreground in here, and then we'll come in here and call this foreground. Foreground, right? And then the foreground layer, I think there are 2 in LDtk, is that right? Yeah, there's 2. There's the, we've got the tree trunks, right? And then we've got the like, these tree bits that you can go behind are on another foreground layer. So we want to put both of those up here. So if memory serves in LDtk, the layers are in reverse order in the JSON. So what we would do is effectively, let me go make sure this is in the list. So we'll have draw foreground, and we'll just put this like, I don't know, it actually doesn't matter. at the current situation, it doesn't actually matter where we put these. But we'll put them there. Okay. So we got our systems in the list. We've got this new callback that we're going to do. We need to call that somewhere. So here, after all that crap, we're going to do it. So we're going to do systems, draw foreground, pass in our runtime. And then what we're going to do, this probably won't pick up when I edit it, but we'll see. So let's see. Sorry if you guys can hear my fan, by the way, in the background. If it's like mega loud or something, tell me and I'll turn it off and have a heat stroke on camera. But mic? On mic? I don't know what you'd say. So let's see. We'll come in here, and I think I had like a layer iterating thing. Yes, I did. So I'm just gonna crib all this real quick. And we'll use it to draw our foreground. So we're gonna say, I'm gonna keep this a little bit flat. Alright, so we'll just return if there aren't any levels, and currently we're just always on the 0th level, and it's the only level in the project, so that works out. So then, currently we're just getting the first one, right? But in practice we'd have like either an index somewhere, or we'd have a stored pointer or something like that. Let's see. So then instead of doing this, so if I save this, if it does update, it probably won't. Yeah, then that would have been in front of her. So that didn't work. We restart. Whoop. Yep, and now the whole level draw is in front of us, see? So now we're gonna fix that. I mean, heck, we could leave this debug stuff here and then take it out of the other thing. So we'll have that, and then let's see. This will draw the layers in the wrong order, if memory serves. Yeah, this draws the layers in funky order. It's like back to front order, so we need to go. We need to do, or no, is this correct? I can't actually tell. I'd have to be able to get up in the air to look. No, it's correct. I had already fixed it. I forgot. Okay, cool. So now we're drawing all of the layers, but we actually don't want to do that. We want to skip several of them. So if we go back to LDtk, this is incredibly lazy, but I'm just gonna go look. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And so we want to draw the 4, 5, 6 on our yeah. Those are our foreground layers, and we want this other stuff to be behind the character. Like this ground there should be behind us instead. Alright, so this is going from the wrong direction, I think, but we'll just try it and see. Okay, that's got her in front of the ground, but she's also in front of the trees, which is probably not what we wanted. There we go. Okay. In front of the ground, behind the trees. Just like that's, you know, that's what my mom always told me when I was growing up, is in front of the ground and behind the trees. Alright, so now we can go back over here and we can remove this crap, and we can also remove the debug drawing. No longer needed in here. And we can also go we can also just go turn that off, because I know where the collision should be, right? So we can come down here and flip this off. So now we're at least on the right layer. We're still doing collision from our fake level down here. Let's see. Of course, our drawing function is currently redundantly drawing the whole level, and then we're redrawing the foreground again. So we could go and change that real quick. Let's see. I think we already have a... We'll skip it for now. Okay, so next up, we will try to lock the camera. Let's lock the camera to this level that we're loading. Man, my mouth is so dry. This heat wave is terrible. Phew. Are my audio levels okay to people? Like, is the music too loud, too quiet? What are those? Oh, they're not even specified. So I can probably just take these casts out, because X will already be a, well, no, it won't. Okay, cool. We can, at the very least, make this less cumbersome to look at. I'll leave the parentheses just for niceness, but... Alright. Let's see. So this is our crappy fake tiles, so if I comment this out, you'll see them disappear, right? And then come back. Systems actually are not drawing anything right now because everything's hard-coded, but that's okay. So right, let's try setting a camera boundary for the level. How should we do that? Let's go... Let's have, like, I don't know. Should we... And my face is stuck. It always gets stuck on that one. What is the deal with that? It's so awkward. Okay, well, old avatar still gets stuck on weird idle animation sometimes. I'm not sure. It's just like it's just a freaking timer. Like, and it seems to be that I'm like setting the value to either a faraway timestamp or I'm setting some overlapped state, and it just like it's kind of creepy. I need to hurry up and make my new VTuber. Is what I need to do. And I need to stream Pikmin or something too. Anyway, weird avatar problems aside. Let's see, we could just put it in here. How hard is it to get the min and max of a here? Okay, I'm gonna go look on the other screen. I'm going to go look at, well, I was going to, but where the heck is my code window? Are there like, oh my goodness. Where the heck? Okay. Okay, well, how should I get the world boundaries? Because I don't think, it's been a little bit since I've looked at this. I don't think it's actually stored in here anywhere. It's just like there are world coordinates on the levels, which, I mean, maybe that's enough, just like the world coordinates and then like the X and Y of the thing. I don't know. Let's go to our camera system and see about... Okay, let's do this. It sure is a compile error. But anyway, let's see. So we'll say clamp the camera inside the level boundaries, which you don't always want, but for now, well, what we could do is we could, because you want to specify this per per level, because like maybe you want to be able to go up off the screen but not down off the screen with the camera, and sometimes you want the camera to like frame an area. Like you walk into a house, you want the camera to center on the house, and then when you leave the house by some margin, then the camera starts following you again. But that's something we'll do later when we're loading entities. We can have entities where it's like, if you're overlapping this, then the camera should behave this way, and if you're not, it should behave this other way by default. But for now, we'll do this. So we're going to do the same kind of nonsense that we do here temporarily. Where the heck is it? Alright, so we're going to do this whole maneuver where we just grab the first level, since that's all we care about right now. And then, let's see. So, okay, easy peasy. So we'll have some like that. And we're gonna cast these to floats actually. And then this will be the min x plus, and it'll be like, will this value actually be set is the real question with LDtk. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll find out. Let's go see. It's set, sort of. Okay, it appears to be set. That's a good sign. Okay, so if we get that, then we should be able to just clamp the camera inside it. So we're gonna say get the level boundaries in world coordinates. Clamp the camera inside. And so what is our target here? So the target, that's the top left corner of the camera, right? Okay. So then we'll say we're gonna clamp this. Oh, and that'll be this, and then it'll be and then world max x minus like the width of the game, right? Since we're at the top left corner, that sounds correct to me. And then we'll do the same deal with the y. Actually, let's just try it with the x and see if it even works. Seemingly not. Although, is this live coded? It claims to be. Let's make double, triple, extra sure. It sure doesn't seem to care, so. Okay, so that's a bust. Great. Is it something to do with the fact that it's the template? Is the template broken? It sure is. Okay. We love generics. Generics are so easy to write and so fun. Okay, so that's weird. So it works on the left side, sort of, and then as soon as we as soon as we get over there, it just like goes totally bananas. What's the deal with that? The hard part of doing these streams is it's like sometimes you're not sure if it's like I did my math wrong and I'm an idiot, or if it's like I did my language wrong and I'm an idiot. I did my arithmetic wrong. Okay, well, sheesh. Alright. This is not promising. What is the deal? Okay, well, if I write this from scratch and it works, I'm going to be cross. So we'll say, am I stupid right now? Like, world X, pixels wide. Okay. So we'll say, we'll do it this way. We'll say if is less than, we'll just do it per direction and see if that works for us. Okay, so that locks it on the left side and leaves it unlocked everywhere else. Is it because the level is too narrow, I wonder? Because it doesn't quite fit the whole, well, it does. It's like, yeah, it's a little bit wider than the screen. It should be okay. I'm wondering if there's like a widening mistake. It's greater than world max x. So the max x should be, it should be this, but then you want to do minus the width of the thing. So where are we getting that value from? Yeah, okay. Is it that it's not? Something is afoot. Okay. Aha! What in the heck is going on there? Is there something up with this value? Because it should just be the literal... No, it should be the literal coordinates. I mean, we can check that. We can spam the crap out of it. Oop. Oh, forgot the new line. That's not normal. Wait a minute. Okay, yep. Yep. I'm an idiot. That's better. Okay. Yep. Okay, well, better actually turn this back on or nothing's gonna happen. That's better. Okay, so now we got the camera locked on X, and then what we'll do is we'll lock it on the bottom but not the top. I've got to tone down the the autocomplete situation for Sublime Text because it is so it just like obscures the whole window when I'm typing. Okay, so there we there we go, and we fall down into the void, and we're down there in the void, and we've got the camera locked just like we wanted. Okay, so let's see. Did I even write that in here so I can delete it? Nope, I sure didn't. Alright, so now we've got the camera locked. And now we need to actually load these solids. So if I go in here and turn this back on, I have a layer in LDtk called solids, and it's an int grid that has one possible value, which is for solidness, and there it is. And we're not actually doing anything with that right now. We're still just doing collision on our fake PNG level thing. So what we would like to do is actually load this. Well, it's loaded, but actually use it. All right, let's see. how do we want to do this? So currently, we just take the runtime and we go and look at our crappy fake tiles. So I think in theory, I could just change this to go do a lookup in the this, and that would be enough. But really, you probably want to do something fancy where you get like where you know what level to get or something. But since LDtk is project based, like every level in your game is going to have the same layers, so it's fine to just get a layer by index, right? And we're not going to have LDtk for the whole time of this game's production, I can tell you that much. So it's fine to just write a silly thing and like rip it out later. So here's our old version, and here's how it do with our fake level. And we'll write a new version that does kind of the same maneuver here. Like we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna grab the level, and then we're gonna go and get some actual stuff. So if I do this, now the whole world is just gonna be, you can see my Y velocity going crazy. It's because I'm falling infinitely. So we'll go and do this, and then we'll do an out of bounds check, same as before. So we'll say if, oh, but this is tiles, whatever. If tile x is less than 0, or tile x is greater than or equal to, what will it be? It'll be like level pix width divided by level tile size, question mark, grid. Does it have the grid? No, of course not. Right, because it would be by layer. I happen to know that it's 24, right? But that feels kind of stinky. That's okay. We'll allow it for now. So we'll do that, and then we'll do this. Really, we should just do it by layer. We should just get the layer, and we know what layer it is, after all. So if we go to LDtk, we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, right? And is it going to be, given how they're like labeled, is it going to be the first one or the last one? I'm not actually sure. Let's see if it's the first one. So we're gonna get a layer, and let's make that a pointer. Actually, I mean, who cares if it's by value? Array get, and it'll be level layers, something like that. Right, and then it'll just be the 0th one, and then what we'll do is we'll see what the if I could freaking type, oh my goodness. Solids identifier. Solids, okay, yeah, I was right. It's the 0th one because they're in reverse order. Okay, great. So now that we have our solids layer, we can now do an out of bounds check. And like, you would not want to do that. You'd want to at least make these pointers. You don't want to have this tiny function make these giant stack variables, which I think they would be large enough that I wouldn't actually, like underneath, they would be pointers. They would only get copied if you edited them, right? But and we actually don't give a crap about the bounds checking here either, so we can just do this. And we know that there are layers in there, right? We are assuming that there are layers in there, and it's fine. So then what we'll do, which I think it's actually this one, are using here, so we'll have to go back and do that in a second. But so we got that. We got that. Now we'll do the out of bounds check. So say if tile x is less than 0, or tile x is greater than or equal to solids. Are those going to be set? That's also a question. And there's also there's these offsets, but then there's also these other offsets that are in like world space, I think, or something. I'm not actually sure. Let's go have a look in the file and see what is actually in there. Cell width and cell height? Well, no, that doesn't make sense because maybe that's cells wide, so it's like a 16, it's like a 30 by 16 level. What else do we got in here? Okay, so there's also, there's these for the level, which is implicit for the layer, right? So we could actually just, that applies to every layer in this program. In TileEd, I don't know if that's true. Maybe I'm stupid. I think in TileEd you can have like arbitrarily sized things, but I don't remember. So what we will do is we'll just go ahead and check these. I think that's fine. We happen to know what the size is, but we could also go in here and be like tile size, or we could call it grid size if you like, and it could be solids grid size, right? Something like that. But I happen to know it's 24 for this game, so I don't care. And then we'll get the actual tile and check it. And I think LDtk is the same deal where it's just like a flat. Yeah, it's a CSV. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So I'll have a tile index that's going to be the tile x plus the tile y times the level. What is it? Well, no, it would be the layer in this case. Is that... God, these identifiers... I'm going to level with you guys. These identifiers make me a little bit angry. Not a fan. What is the problem? Right. So there's the tile index, and then if tiles tile index doesn't equal 0, well, we'll specifically say if it equals 1, then we'll return true. Okay. We got a new problem. Right, not the actual tiles, duh. Solids, what is it called? What is it called in there? Int grid CSV. Rolls off the tongue. Okay. Still no good. Right, because it's dynamic. I'd have to do this. Okay. Now you might notice there's a problem, and that's because we've only done one of these. We've only converted this one over. We have to do the other one now. So we basically just do the same thing, but per pixel instead of the whole tile. So in this case, so we'll say if x is less than 0, return false. If y is less than 0, return false. Actually, we'll just keep it shaped the same. So we'll go do this, and we need to get a tile x and tile y in this case. So we'll say tile x is going to be x over config tile width, and then cast that to, yep. And then we'll get a tile y. Really, we could just query these values from the actual layer if we wanted to make a general purpose thing, but we're not making a general purpose thing. And these are constant I ain't worried about it. So let's see. Yay! Alright. I think that's all we needed to do, really. Yeah. If I had small function inlining, this function would just call this function. But I don't, so I'm not doing that right now. Alright, and with that we now have a solid level where the camera can totally escape. But we have a solid level, and look, there's a mistake here. Let's go get rid of it and save and refresh, and here we are. So now we've got some solids, and I think that's all we needed to, yeah, that's all we needed to clean up. So now we can go and turn off some of our debug drawing, right? Go ahead and flip this to false. I said we'll flip it to false, jeez. Okay. So there's that. So now we're loading solids from LDtk. Let's go ahead and lock the camera within the Y just to see, because like this level doesn't, if we had like a fade to black or something, or if we set like, if we could say that the background above a certain level was just like a certain color or some crap, then it would make more sense to let the camera do that. But what you really want is to like, to do, make this configurable on the camera and able to be changed in the level. But in the meantime, we're just gonna make it literal here. Alright. So now we're locked and we won't go outside on any axis currently. And we can run around behind the trees and whatever. Pretty cool. And let's see, I keep losing my tabs. I wish I could make Sublime Text just like alphabetically sort these or something. Maybe that's a plugin I could grab. I don't know. Let's see, where's our debug? Right, export const debug player. And then we'll go to the debug system, and we'll say if debug player. We'll do that, otherwise we won't. So here's our little character, and we can run around on, that was weird, on these solids that we now have loaded from TileEd. And her feet don't touch the ground, and that is going to drive me absolutely insane. Okay, I gotta fix that. Let's see. There. That's better. I hit the wrong key. How embarrassing. But yeah, so we can run around now. And we've got a foreground and a background. And we've got our camera locked within the level boundary. So that's cool. We could think about parallax, but I'm not sure how to do parallax well in LDtk. It's like the way you would do parallax in some editors is like you would make your parallax layer larger than the level is, or smaller than the level is even. Or you would have like a bunch of dead space in your level, basically, but then lock the camera within like a valid zone or something. I don't know, and like these don't need to have parallax because the whole point is to obscure things in that Mario Worldy way, but you could imagine an even more foreground thing that would have parallax on it, and I'm not sure how we want to handle that yet. But alright, so let's see. We loaded the solids, and we did this, and we did not actually do our background system. It's just like a completely empty file. But we could go get the foreground system and just like need to do the background version. And for now, the background version is actually going to be way less than all this, and it is just going to draw the it's just going to do this that we do in the draw frame right now, because I'm lazy. So we'll do that real quick. And then we can, what's the issue? Oh, that's my bad. Okay, so we've got that, and then I think we can just go and can go to our draw frame. And now where live code wasn't in this system before, this might not actually update, but we'll see. So we no longer need to do like any of this crud, I don't think. I don't need to do any of that. This we can just keep. Don't really need to do that. And we don't really need to do this either. Yep. Where am I? Did I did? Oh, I've made a terrible mistake, because this is drawing the foreground. Okay, well now it just doesn't draw. There. Okay. So now the background actually draws in the background. And honestly, we could go ahead and do this, and we're just going to go ahead and make this a system call, and then we'll go to the draw frame here. And just like we call the draw foreground, we'll come in here before we draw all this stuff. Maybe after we draw the grid and the fake tiles, and we'll draw the background. Alright. So this is all just like scratch that we're not doing anymore. And this can now go away because we don't really need to draw a grid. We could keep the grid drawing if we just want to put it as like a debug thing or something. We could do that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll put it in the debug system. So we'll have a draw tile grid in here. And right, we need to get the camera stuff. Where is the I'm using the camera elsewhere, am I not? What? Oh, I'm just like not, I haven't cached it in a variable because I'm silly. Obviously I want that around. And we'll just cache it up here at the top, and then everybody can use it. Right. Cam X, cam Y. We have problems. These casts I don't think need to be there, but that'll be config game width and config game height, right? And where else is it? Right. What else we got? Okay. So there's a grid, and the color is all wrong because it's from the background of the thing. So we need to do, and let's say it's like, I don't know, we'll make it white but have it be faded a little bit just to see. That's way too loud. That's a little bit better. Oh man, the jaggies are gonna drive me crazy. I could just set the line width right? Isn't that a thing? No. Set render. Maybe not. Am I crazy? I thought you could set the line width. Maybe I didn't bind that. I'm not sure. Anyways, let's go ahead and add a config option for this. Why is it quiet? Oh, my playlist isn't looping. That was horrible. Repeat all, please. Can't be in here with freaking no music. Alright. The heck was I doing? Oh right, I was adding a config option for this. Debug show tile grid. And shoop. I'm used to auto indent. I'm sure Sublime Text has auto indent, right? Sublime Text has auto indent when moving lines, please. Alright. So, why is the grid... Alright, now the grid's just there because of the rounding problem. Ugh. Okay, well, I don't want to render the whole game to a low-res canvas, but I could maybe render the tiles to a low-res canvas because the tiles generally aren't going to be moving, right? But then anything that was going to be a tile and move on subpixels would have to be like some kind of hacky thing, which is also bad. I just splashed water on my face from my water bottle because I am professional. Alright, let's see. I mean, maybe we could do that. Another thing that I was thinking about is like we could, my screen is getting dark. Ugh. Why does it have to be like this? Wakey, wakey, wakey. Thank you. Let's see. What do we want to do next? We could try... Let me quickly just search around a little and see if there's any like... Because I've always just fixed this problem by just like drawing all the tiles to a render target that's at the actual resolution. I don't know if that's ideal or not. There might be some smarter trick we could be doing for that. I don't know though. Actually, let's see what we're actually doing with the renderer in here. Because I know we're setting the logical size, but what if we set it to an integer scale? Would that just like fix it on its own? Oh. Would that be sufficient by itself? Well, it certainly fixes the problem, but it, not great for stream, and wouldn't, nope, it doesn't even fix it then. Okay. We'd still need to round the actual camera coordinates to the nearest pixel to not have that problem, I think. And I really don't like being locked into an integer scale, just because it means that, like, I don't know, depending on what somebody's playing on, it can be really annoying for them. And it's like you really want to have, you want people to have the option to have integer scale turned on or not. And you don't want your game to look like crap in either case. Whoop. Now I expect that if I go and round the camera coordinates, that it will be the right thing at the integer scale, right? Like we shouldn't get jaggies, I don't think, anymore, but then we're locked into the pixel grid really. And like if you have like a slow pan, if there's ever a slow pan, I don't know if I can even trigger that currently. You can see the way it just like kind of, I really like subpixel, but so that does fix the jaggies. Like integer scale plus locking the camera does fix the, like, plus keeping the camera on whole integers, like that will fix the jaggies without needing to do any extra work. And I deliberately sized the game to be half of 720p, right? So that on typical displays, it's gonna look all right. But actually, even on 1080p, it would not quite do what you want. Because this whole viewport here is 1080p, and as you can see, the game is too small, right? So that's not good. That's not great. We don't want that. So we're gonna have to fix it the other, more complicated way. So let's go turn off this integer scale. Turn letterbox back on. Now we've got our game. Jaggies intact. Rounded camera or no. Although, I wonder if we could cheese it. Like this is a moire problem, right? I'm wondering if we could cheese it in some way though. With like, I don't know. Without having to go whole banana. Sorry for just like being in thought. And like the way I've always done this in my other past games is I would just render everything to a canvas that's at the game's resolution, so that and like put them on pixel coordinates so that they can't, so you're just drawing one seamless image in the letterbox basically. The problem is for certain kinds of effects you might want to do, or if you want things to like rotate subpixel and not look quite like Super Nintendo or GBA sprite rotations, you maybe want to have a higher resolution but just draw low-res graphics in it, right? Which is what we're currently doing. But we then need to account for this. And so it's like, well, we could draw each tile layer to a render target and just like cache it. And then if we had animated tiles or something, we would have to refresh it every so many frames, right? That's one thing we could do. Having a crap ton of frame buffers is not desirable necessarily, but that's something we could do. So like each tile layer would become like a static image that we drew. That's one option. Another option is we can just draw the whole game to a canvas and then stretch that canvas. That's the simplest thing. So like we might just do that, and then if it looks bad later, then I can change it later, right? So I haven't done this in a little while. SDL3 render target docs. Okay. If memory serves, this is just like super duper straightforward, but so we're gonna need to edit the runtime and add a new thing. Oh, KiteLine. Oh, okay, listen. This is important. I need you to listen to me, okay? go play those. Go pirate the ROMs and play them. The Mario 2 one is a little, like, okay, they're all really cool and they all add some cool stuff. The Mario 2 one is a little bit difficult and the camera can be a little bit frustrating, but it's still really neat. They add like new characters and there's less palette swap bosses, although there are still some. The Super Mario World port is particularly good. It doesn't have Mario All-Stars Luigi sprites. I wish it did. I don't know why it doesn't. But other than that, it's kind of the definitive version of the game. Like, the camera's really good. They add a lot of nice little stuff, fun little sprite changes and like polish things. It's really nice. Yes, the giant Birdo robot. The Mecha Birdo is like my favorite boss in that entire game, which is predictable, isn't it? But it's a good boss. But yeah, I would argue that those are excellent. You should go check them out. They're all really good. The Mario World for GBA, that was like the I'm stuck in an idle animation again, but this time it's the creepy one. Shoot. Super Mario World for the GBA was like the second GBA game I ever got. It was for my birthday or for Christmas or something. And I played it for hundreds and hundreds of hours and struggled really hard on some of the secret world levels. It's like, I don't know, Super Mario World to this day is probably my favorite 2D side-scrolling Mario. Easy. And I like all the weird ones too. Like, I love Mario Land and I love 6 golden coins. Let's see. Okay, so in here, wherever we have, where's our platform stuff? Hold on. Wait, there it is. We're gonna add a texture in here. And we'll call this, I don't know, crappy. So this is like a crappy hack, and I'm gonna mark it as such. Fix me. This is a crappy hack for tile seam issues. A real fix would be much preferred to this when we get into effects later. This is not ideal, but we're gonna do it. We actually have to restart because we've added a new variable to a memory mapped thing. Okay. Alright. So now what we're gonna do is we have this here. We're gonna go to, well, I mean, I guess we can do it on reload, right? But ideally you'd do it during startup. So we'll just put it in here. So for the moment, I can put it in startup. Why bother? We're not going to need to reload that at any point. Default renderer settings, that thing, this thing. Create permanent render targets. We'll say that. Oh, Rayman Advance. I never got to play that one. I got to play the weird Spyro games on GBA though, at least a couple of them. So let's see. Platform text screen is going to be STL create texture, and I'll give it the renderer, and then it's going to be, I can't see what the freaking arguments are because the autocomplete is too aggressive. That's better. I mean, I don't know, dog. What they have added new things to this that I do not remember. They're like much more. I just always wrote RGBA 32. Like, that's what I wrote back in the day. What the? I don't want a GPU texture format. Should it be pixel format that I want? I don't even know, dog. Hold on. Ugh. It's a U32. Well, we're off to a grand start. Why am I so silly? Let's go look at... We load a texture in here. Do we not? Right, we do that. Oh my god. Fine. I'll look up the docs, I'll RTFM, I'll be a grown-up about it. It is a pixel format. Okay, that needs to be better in the binding. STL, pixel format, binding could be nicer in places like STL, create texture. Also, hold on. What does create texture with properties do? Oh, it takes a properties ID. That's cool. Not using it, but that's cool. Okay, pixel format. That's what we like to see. Texture access, and it's static. And the width will be the game width, and the height will be the game height. Because we are gonna be hacks today and do this the crappy way. Right. I mean, do we want to narrow that everywhere? No. Okay, well, here, we'll do this. Texture. We'll do this. Okay. Else we'll freak out. And let's say STL failed. Sheesh. Create texture failed. Okay, so we'll do that, and then should we go ahead and clear it? That's probably fine. Yeah, so I think my first, the GBA was the first console I ever owned, and my parents got me Spyro Season of Ice as my first GBA game, and I played the snot out of it, and I liked it a lot, actually. I actually enjoyed Season of Ice. I didn't get to play Season of Flame until years later on an emulator, and I actually enjoyed that one too, as hokey as both of them are. I thought it was fun. And then, yeah, the isometric angle is weird, but I thought it was fun. And then besides that, there's like a weird, like when Spyro and Crash were both falling off, they made these horrible, like, it's like Spyro orange or something, and Crash purple on the GBA that are just kind of rough around the edges. As I recall, I should go replay them now that I'm like 30, but I don't know. They I remember them being pretty rough, I'll say that. But I enjoyed Season of Ice and Flame a lot. There are things that are annoying where it's like, hey, the camera can't show me where I'm supposed to be trying to go during some like going to get a secret or whatever. I also really enjoyed the artwork, like the pixel art in Season of Ice and Flame is really pretty. It is in that weird category of like pseudo 3D GBA games, but I thought it was pretty cool despite that. Okay, so we make this texture, and let's go and see if it actually... Okay, we're good. So then what we want to do is we want to draw everything to that texture instead of the screen. Yeah. Spyro Orange and Crash Purple, like weird, like 2D platformers, and then also like they had these like weird crossover segments in it, and like just very strange. Just very strange. Ba-dum. The heck was I doing? Right, everything is gonna draw poorly. That's what we're doing. So here in our, wait, I thought I deleted this. Didn't I delete this? I thought I deleted that. I guess I didn't. Well, off it goes. These aren't used anymore. I could keep them around, but... So we got this, and we got that, and we got, this isn't being used, and it was just looking for the, right. And then we got this, and then we got that, and then we got that. I'm actually going to draw the debug normally. I'm only going to draw the actual stuff to the thing. Okay. So... Oh, right, the grid drawing. Well, we don't really need that anymore, do we? That's gone. This is still all true, and then we could do, say let canvas, and I know it's unused. Okay, yeah. So we clear the renderer, and then we'll do set render target, and we'll pass in our canvas, right? And then we're going to do this song and dance again, actually. Although if we're going to blit this to that, we don't actually need this part, we can just leave it off. But so we're going to do this, and then after all of that stuff, before we do debug, we're going to do this. And then we're going to actually blit the canvas. It's not a blit. We're going to draw the canvas. So we're going to render a texture. And yeah. So we're going to draw the texture. And why is this so awkward? That this is the part I want to see. Why are the rest of you here? Whatever. Canvas. And then this will be null, and that'll be null because it'll be the whole screen. And that sure doesn't look correct to me. So, are we still rounding the camera coordinates? Because that makes a difference. Let's make double sure here. Okay, I have an assumption wrong somewhere. So if I didn't draw this... Okay, yeah, we missed something here. What? Like, am I being a doofus right now? Will we not get a black screen if I do that? We will not. Okay, something is amiss, apparently. But what? The heck? So does that mean the canvas is just blank? Is this doing nothing? My avatar is still stuck, and she looks real weird. I kind of want to restart it just to like fix that. It's really awkward. Hold on. Okay. Surgery is being done. Okay. And then I have to go in here, and then I have to like There we go. Okay. She will totally mess up again, I'm sure, but... Okay, we're not calling this anywhere else, are we? Like, am I crazy? Nope. Is it just bugged? Like, am I just... Is my binding screwed up? It certainly could be. STL3, STL set render target. Am I misunderstanding something? Do I need to have created... Oh, does this fail? Hang on. Hold up. Actually, what does it return? It returns a bool, so if it's... Yeah, okay, so it's failing to bind it. And that will be because... That will almost certainly be because we created it with the wrong... I bet it's supposed to be streaming. Oh no, duh, it's the target. Oh my god. It's been a little while, if you can't tell. Target, that might be important. Okay. And you might notice that the jaggies are freaking gone. The jaggies are gone because we're rendering at the actual resolution of the thing. Now we could do something like make this render target like 1080p or something like that. So that it looks a little bit less, but honestly this isn't bad. Maybe this will just be fine. I fell off the edge. Okay. I hope the stream is like actually running, because I don't show a ton of dropped frames today, but I keep seeing weird blips in my like graph on YouTube where it looks like something sketchy is happening. But yeah, now we can hop around and not have jaggies everywhere, which is nice. Yippee. I wonder if we could do something fun like if you go behind, this is totally unnecessary, but like we could have things like houses in the game where like you go inside and we detect that you're overlapped by like the inside of the house or whatever, and then we just like fade out the, you know, like here we don't want to show you because the whole point is that you're not visible and you have to remember where you're at, but would be the type of thing with a tree canopy normally, but like we could totally have a thing where like you walk in the house and like the outer wall fades away or something like that. But yeah, so we've got an actual level now, and we could go and make it larger or do something else fun with it. If we want to. I need to change my like snapping zones because this feels pretty good. No letterbox on this, and then still enough room on this, and then this actually has room for the minimap instead of crunching. It's pretty good. Alright, let's go look at our to-dos. Fix the stupid little tile seams. We did that. We did that. So we haven't done the hot loading. So currently the way we do the hot loading is just I hit the R key, right? Things like textures are hot loaded. So if I go here to the player and I go to her idle frame and I give her green hair, oh, I'm not on an actual, and I give her green hair, it will show up in the game, right? But we don't do that for we don't do that for LDtk, but we totally could. Just do the same maneuver for LDtk. The way that LDtk currently works is we come in here and we draw something and we hit save, and then we come over here and we hit R to reload it, and then it's loaded, right? What we would like to be able to do is just have it instantly update in the game without having to reset. That would be nice. And we should be able to do that. So currently, if we go to here, here is how we reload LDtk. So we try, just whenever you've hit R, we try to load it, and then if we succeed, we free the old one, if there is one. It's a no up if there's not one. We free the old levels that are loaded, and then we assign the new one, and we're done. That's it. So if we want to hot load this instead, what we need to do is we're gonna grab this first of all, and then we'll still allow you to hit R to do it. So we'll leave it here, right? But then we want to have a place to do hot loads. And I don't remember where we do hot loads. Here we go. It's in this bookkeeping system. Here in the systems, we have this one called bookkeeping, and it just does things that happen like at the start of the frame. So what we will do is we will go and add a timestamp to the runtime, probably. And is it just like an i64? I don't even remember, dog. Let's go see what we're doing in here for it. Yeah, it's just an i64 for the modified time on other stuff we're hot loading, so that'll be fine. So we'll go to our levels and we'll add a new thing in here, i64, and we'll call this project mtime, and we're gonna have to restart the game because of that. Shoop. So here's our level, and now what we're gonna do is when we load it, we're going to set that mtime if we can, and there's just like an SDL call for that, right? Yes. Oh right, I forgot we already wrapped it. Okay, cool. That'll be fine then. Grab the mtime. I don't even know where that function comes from. I should probably go find it. Ugh. That was an accident. Jeez. Was that F11? What did that? Anyway. Okay, whence cometh this thing? Util, okay. No, it's not that. Oh wait, it'll be in lib util. Cool. Okay, so there's that. And we'll also just borrow this real quick. Alright, so let's see. So in here, we're doing this every frame, which is bananas, but so far it's been fine. So we're going to make a bare scope, and we'll say levels mtime equals, and we need to know what path that is. Okay, and then what is this? Yeah, right. If levels mtime is greater than right, something like that, then we'll just do this. Right. Okay, so now in theory, if we go to LDtk, oh my gosh, the snapping. Okay, so here we are. If I go to one of these layers, I don't know, and I grab some tiles and I save, haha, check that out. So now I can just like make a huge mess and save, and then it instantly updates in the game because we're cool and life is easy. And we don't need to wait for some long baking process or something absurd like that. Now, if you use... LDtk has a feature called separate levels where it'll put each level in its own file, and when this game is closer to finished, this world is probably going to be massive, right? And so we might want to do separate level files so that we're not like churning the entire game every time we reload because we edited one tile somewhere. But having this is pretty sweet. This is pretty convenient. So like I can come in here and I can plop down a new thing and I can save, and oh my goodness, there it is in the game. And then I can come in here and remove it and save, and she dies. And this works without reloading the level, which is cool because it means you can just like tweak a jump or something like while you're like practicing it, right? You can just go and do a thing and see how it feels, and if you like it, then great, and if you don't, you could go and change it. This kind of workflow is really helpful to have. Anyways, so now we have hot loading for our LDtk project. So we can go and yay! Let's see, what time is it? Okay, it's not been too long. Let's see, what else can we do? I feel like it's a little bit much sometimes, the like how far you just keep on going. Feels a little bit too slidey to me. Whoops. See what I mean? Like I feel like she keeps on walking for way longer when I let off the key than I would prefer. Because like you can get a little short step like this, but even then that's like sometimes longer than you want. Yeah, that's too long. Do we... I mean, I could crank this a little. But that'll change her, like, her whole everything. I do think that maybe the physics should be a little bit more like I could go full banana and I could go study SNES games and make like a full integer math based player controller, but I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a band-aid on the real problem, which is just that I haven't really made a platformer like this that I was serious about, and so making it feel just right is going to be kind of tough. We can still get up some speed. Acceleration could maybe be a little bit higher, because I feel like I should be getting up to speed there, and I'm not. Let's see. We're not quite getting to the sprint. Granted, there's not a ton of space here, but I feel like we should be able to get it. This is probably way too much. That feels a little bit closer to right. Sorry for just like tweaking and being quiet and messing around. We need a larger area to play in. How convenient that we have this amazing level editor where we can just the level out. Let's see. Let's kind of just make a big area here where we can stand real quick, and I don't know, we'll continue this over here. Can I like make this even less opaque because this is a little bit loud? Probably not. Anyways, can I like pick a tile? Is that a thing I can do? Can I pick a freaking tile? No. Alright. Alright, now I saved, and voila! We've got a big old platform over here. And let's see, are those, where did I put those? Background layer, okay. How do we want to do this? Do it up like that. Alright, we'll just have like a little this. And yeah. Is there like a flood fill in this program? I need just like a cheat sheet for LDtk, because I have not used it a bunch. I don't know half of the hotkeys or anything, and it seems to be a very hotkey focused like design. Ugh. Not used to the controls at all. It's also weird that you can like stack tiles on top of each other in the same layer. It's handy, but it's strange. Alright. That's a little better. Maybe these should like extend or something. How do I just like select a... select empty spaces? Dude, I don't know what the... Oh, tile stacking. Okay, you can turn it off. That's good to know. YouTube is saying that my bitrate is low, which is typical. Oops. That's where the trees normally go. Okay. Can I just like, how do I select like a, okay, we got it. Shift, oh no. Alt? Command, like what do I, how do I copy an area? Shift right click? Nope. Is that not like a thing in LDtk? Can you not like select and copy like a group of tiles on a layer? I don't know. I'm sure it's like a hotkey that I don't know. Hang on. LDtk, select a group of tiles, please. The tile picker. How do I use the tile picker? The bottom left corner of the screen. No, not that tile picker. Okay, but what about... What if I want to select tiles from in the level? Stamp, that's what I want. Maybe. Nope, that's not what I meant either. Phooey. Okay. It will remain a mystery. I just wanted to add a few little flourishes over here. Alright. So here's our big ol' area where we've got some stuff going on, and we can get up to a sprint, hopefully. Almost, just barely. It's like just the right length that we can start to sprint and then not be able to shoot. Oh my goodness, I'm bad at video games. Yeah, we just like start sprinting and then immediately lose it because we hit that platform. There we go. Sheesh. That's all I wanted. Okay, sweet. We're doing things. Okay, what do we want to do next? We could make the debug thing where like you could just like put your mouse somewhere and like press a key to teleport the character. I almost always want something like that in a game because that's one option. Another option is to have like a button you can press to go into like a no clip type of thing and just like press the arrow keys to fly around wherever you want to go. That's another way to do that. Maybe that's what we want to do. I don't know. We could also look at loading an entity or something. Let's do the debug thing, because that'll be handy to have. On the other hand, I don't know, I need to get better at pacing these. It's like, well, maybe we should end the stream soon because I've gotten to a natural stopping place. Real quick, I'm gonna fix these because they're driving me crazy. So we want this there, and then we want one of these there, and we'll extend this one over too. Okay, and then we want those to be solid. That feels more like they're connected to something, I guess, to my brain. Just go through the whole game like this. I mean, heck, we've been here for a couple hours, and it is like 90 degrees here and very hot. Let's see, so what do we do today? Let's see. Today, shoop. Oh my goodness, I thought I folded all of you. Wait. Okay. Let's see, what do? We loaded some LDtk levels, displayed them, made systems to draw the foreground and background layers. We converted collision to LDtk. We did hot loading. That's pretty cool. We locked the camera to level bounds. And we did a render target to prevent tile seams. I think that pretty much covers what we did. Not bad for a couple hours. I think that pretty much is it. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I had a lot of fun today. Been a while since I streamed. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it a lot. It's really sweet of you guys to be here at all and hang out. Next time, I may or may not have a new avatar. I just resurrected this one for this stream to get her working. And I've got some sketches for a replacement that would be more interesting, I think. And I don't know, more representative somehow. But yeah, thank you guys. This has been nice. Next time, we'll hopefully have some more fun stuff to do. But thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one and on the old internets. But thanks. Laters.